Hello, this is Lisa Russick with the podcast We're All Psychic. And guess who's back? It's Ryan. He also is back. He knows he's back. I can't ask him to guess if he's back, but Ryan, do you still think we're all psychic?
I do. Like I always say, I try to think of something cute or profound to say, but then I get on and I'm like, nope, I'll just say yes.
Yes, I love it. We've had to say it several times. So listeners and watchers, this is a video podcast on Spotify. And I'm wearing some sunglasses because I'm having panic attacks today and I'm getting them under control, but I don't want you to see my eyes. But you got to see Ryan's setup because he always has, I love Ryan's podcast setup, man, and he looks great in it. So Ryan is an ongoing guest. He was my first podcast I did with who was a stranger, and I didn't know who he was or anything. I think I named it Stranger Danger. So if you want to go back, that was the first one with Ryan. And I think you've been back about once a year, twice a year at the most. 1 year, I think twice. And then, so you've been 5 times or so already, I think.
I think it's been at least 5 times.
At least. Yeah. You've been on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so listeners, he started out, if you don't know, and you're new to the podcast, he started out just wanting to find out more stuff about it. He found the podcast and wrote me, and he was my first stranger guest. And we had a really great conversation. And I was really nervous, but he put me right at ease. As you can tell, he has the perfect voice. He's done podcasts. So that he does a podcast, right? Do you still do it at all? Or
I have not done it for several years, and I've been waiting for my buddy to snap out of his funk so we can try another one, but he's having a hard time. So
a lot of people are. Is he a fixed sign? The fixed signs are going through it.
I just heard that on somebody else's podcast yesterday or today about fixed signs. So
it's Taurus, Leo,
Scorpio,
and Aquarius and Scorpio. Yeah, Scorpio.
I will not pretend to know Scorpio. I know anything about any of these.
Maybe Scorpio isn't. I'm not sure. I can't remember what the other one is. That's just, I do know it. Maybe I don't know it. It's not here. So as over all these years, you weren't positive that you could do it, or you learned from us that we thought you were already doing a lot of stuff like mediumship, which is where he was narrowing his focus in our last podcast with Ryan. And Ryan and I got together maybe a handful of times and did some mediumship work and just some work around. I think I helped you a little more in that one particular instance that doesn't need to be talked about on the podcast. But give the listeners some feedback for what that was like for you. Did you get anything out of it?
I did. And especially going from not having, to having nothing to just listening. You can't ask questions. You can't get anything specific. And so it's tough when you have lots of questions and lots of thoughts and you're trying to get something specific answered. And it's tough when you got to listen to 98% of the podcasts I have on Spotify or mediumship, psychic work, stuff like that.
Me too.
So I listen to it all the time.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So it's one of those things that what was it? We talked multiple times back and forth. And then the last couple of months, I've actually been in a more of a transforming my health and body kind of thing. I've been in a fitness competition try to win some money and get in better shape and
show me some muscle. I got a little bit. I'm working on a little bit. Oh yeah. Roll up the sleeve. Come on. I want to see it. Listeners, go get on Spotify if you're not. Oh, wow. Whoa. Yeah.
But
what did Morgana say to you? Wasn't it Morgana who said to you, you do it?
And you know what? I've pushed myself harder than I have in the last several years.
Wow.
And I feel a lot better. And I've put a lot of my attention in the last couple of months on that. And, still with the mediumship stuff too. And I decided to go to a local medium here where I live. And just, Saturday?
Cool. Yeah. Just recently.
Yeah. And it was good. And I really like her. She's, I like her spirit, but my problem is that I think I think she's an all right fit, and I think she's pretty good, but I think that it's a lot of woo woo. I'm not
terminology and stuff is very new age kind of.
I'm not big into like, hey, hold on to these stones and how do they make you feel? Like, I'm not that type of.
They are tools, but you have never used them before. You don't seem to need them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I enjoyed it. It was nice. I felt
that's
relaxed.
cool.
And I'll tell you this, that the interesting part of that one was she was doing some kind of, I can't even remember what the name of it was, but it's some hand gestures, like, I don't know, they're mantras or what.
Mudras. I'm doing a podcast with Donna on them next week. Yeah, I've been wanting to do a mudras podcast forever, and she said I love mudras. I was just doing one earlier today to raise my energy out of my panic attack.
I'm always afraid my hands are going to cramp up if I.
Oh, your baby,
my arthritis.
Hands. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. It's yoga for hands. You can do it. You can.
Yoga for hands.
It is yoga for hands. That's what the book says. That I got to get some specifics for the podcast. I wanted some history and stuff.
So there was a point where like part of it was like you end up like kind of rubbing your hands, like waving your hands like over each other.
Right.
And she's like, well, do you feel that? And I'm thinking to myself, honestly, I'm going, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah. It just wasn't for you, but she wasn't really.
But
the
thing is all of a sudden, like you could almost feel like a magnet, like I don't know if you call it magnetism or anti-magnetism. Like you could feel, it almost felt like
the energy.
We're fighting against each other. Like there was some resistance there. And I'm like,
that makes sense too.
I'm like, that's pretty interesting, So I try not to discredit or discount.
You had an experience you really hadn't had before with energy.
Exactly. So I thought that was cool.
That's really great. You want to try one? I learned something new too since we last talked. Can I try it on you?
Sure.
Okay. Well, I'll let you finish and then I'll try it on you.
Well, go ahead and try. That's
okay. Well, I did finish my Reiki certifications and I learned, she did this to me and I've done it to one other person. So maybe or maybe you're not, you'll feel this, but she taught me how to do this thing where I can go in and touch your third eye and you can feel it inside your skull. Like I can feel it. It's doing it to mine right now. And I can do it to you from here. And the first time she did this to me, she reached and said, and she touched my hand. And I was like, holy mother God. Can't do that, but I might be able to do this. You want me to try it?
You ready? For my head or you?
It'll be your third eye. That's where I'm going.
I'll go over my third eye. Okay.
I'm just going now. You feel anything?
It felt kind of warm.
Yeah. And now I'm going to pull it out and you'll feel better.
That didn't sound good.
He's already feeling better. He wasn't feeling bad to begin with. I was. Maybe I need to do it to myself. It does exactly what I need to do.
I've got a little bit of black spray paint on my head from work still.
Oh, you do? Oh, yeah. Cool. That's so funny. Why? What do you work? Where are you working now? Why do you have spray paint?
Well, we had to spray stencils and stuff on some bags, and I was I don't know how the hell it happened, but they told me at work, and I forgot all about it, and then the wife and kids told me about it when I got home. So I still forgot about it. So
I'm the same way. I forget things all the time, and people just don't get it.
I just tell them my brain does not feel like it's important. So
yeah, exactly. My brain disregards this work thing.
So I do have an interesting story.
I love an interesting story. Tell us.
And so years ago, I don't know, it might have been about 7 years ago, a good friend of mine that I was a deputy with died of cancer. And he at one point basically helped save my life. I was very suicidal at that point, and but he helped me get through it, and forever grateful. He was a great human being. Well, his daughter is now 20, 21-ish. Mm-hmm. She's engaged to get married. She's graduating from maybe RN nursing school.
Wow, okay.
If she hasn't already.
Yeah.
Well, I follow her on TikTok, and I always whenever I see things especially when she's missing her dad, it hits me.
Yeah.
And actually I still have a picture of him on my desk here of me and him from years ago. And so one day on TikTok, I saw that she had made a little picture collage video and captioned it, missing you so much lately. So I don't know what I was doing. I might have been taking a shower and kind of meditating. And I was just like, and the weird thing was like, I was like in a room with all white. I can only imagine what that was.
Yeah.
But I could see him. Now I knew it was, it wasn't like I can see somebody in real life, but it was pretty damn real.
Yeah.
So it felt good. So I was like, hey, she's really hurting. Is there anything that you can give me that I can pass on? Yeah. And so all he gave me was a horse with no name.
Song or just that sentence?
I didn't know. I assumed the song, but I didn't know. And so about a month went by, and this is how it works for me: is I usually stew on it for about a month, and then something keeps pushing me to say something. Mm-hmm. So finally, she invited me actually to her graduation party here in a couple of weeks. And so I was like sitting in my chair upstairs, and I was just like, I just need to ask. No matter if I feel like a dumbass, whatever, I need to ask. So I asked her, would this have anything? Would you know anything why he would say this, blah, blah, blah. And she no, I don't, and I'm instantly like, stupid.
You're kind of embarrassed and kind of embarrassed think about her dad and not sure. And
but I'm like,
and what happened?
But I feel like I've felt like a dumbass so many times in my life. So it really,
me too. I'm used to it.
So the good thing is she and I we messaged each other back and forth for about 45 minutes, reliving things from back when he was still alive.
Oh.
I'd be at their house all the time. And I would take time. When I was on duty, I'd go by his house and watch paranormal shows with him.
Yeah.
And whatnot. And so, of course, then she made fun of my car. I had a Camry at the time. She called it my girl car, kind of. So, but it was nice because she felt better just talking about it. And I was just like, what? It's like, it may not mean anything to you. That phrase or song may not mean anything to you right now, but just keep your ears open. And so the next day she messages me and she's like, hey, I was doing some more thinking and reflecting on that. And I asked my brother, which I was good friends with her brother, my buddy's son. And she asked her sister, she's like, would you guys have any idea what this is about? And they're like, no. He's like, but then the son was like, well, it's like, I remember he used to sing that song when he used to drive old so-and-so's truck. Well, then the sister looks up the meaning of that song. Well, she tells me that she had been struggling as of lately because of the anxiety of getting married and graduating. She was thinking so much of her dad. And I think she got into kind of religious aspect and a little bit of spiritual. Yeah. So she was really kind of wondering if her dad made it to heaven.
Oh, and she came to you?
And so the meaning, let's see if I can find it real quick. Like she said that the meaning, let's see here. So the meaning behind the song, the meaning was a metaphor for a vehicle to get away from life's confusion into a quiet, peaceful place. Mm. And she said it shook her up because she's been very anxious the past several months and even praying about not knowing if dad was in heaven or not. And she said that they had never talked about God or Jesus or anything. He said, I think that was a sign to me that he's in heaven.
Wow.
So to me, it was like, holy crap.
So that song really, he wanted her to know about that.
Yeah,
and those lyrics.
Yes. He wanted her to know, hey, be at peace. Don't be all anxious. Just, I'm fine.
And Ryan, when you're first starting out with this stuff, a lot of times spirits won't tell you really big details because they don't know how much you'll translate correctly. So they give you something like that, and she thinks about it, and she does make complete sense. And I'm thinking like conversations they had and everything about that song, about life in general and what the meaning of it is and stuff came out in the words and the song itself for her. I'm kind of getting that.
Well, and I think it's one of those things where, like, for me, I can sit there and be like, well, I knew that like his wife had a horse or a couple horses. So,
they're related to that kind of lifestyle. The horses.
And they, at least they used to be. I don't know if they still are, but so it was one of those things that like you had to keep yourself from putting your own.
Yeah, but you didn't. That song's not about a horse, really. No. Yeah.
So I just kind of let it be, and I was just like, and I think it was good to have that. I'm not, I'm not in control of this. I'm just passing it on. I don't know what the hell it means. So
I never do. A lot of times I don't. I have no idea. A lot of times.
And that's the thing is like, I find like just the other day when I was with that one psychic, and I don't know if she's more psychic than medium, but
she's probably just psychic medium, does both.
She does a lot of things, and she does the tarot, divination, all that stuff. She does a lot of things. And she was like, here, hold on to this book, close your eyes. And I'm kind of I'm not a big close my eyes type of person. I'm more of like, I can be eyes wide open as much as they can for a caveman. But I usually, they can be wide open, but I'm completely zoned out looking through everything. And
that's what I do. That's
usually when I get the most out of it.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. I do both. I can close my eyes, but it's like I like to zone out and just go into my imagination. It's almost like if this is, I don't know, if this is how it is for you, but if I have my eyes open, I feel like I see the imagery in my mind better than I would if my eyes were closed, and everything goes away around me.
I feel like if I shut my eyes, now I've gotten really good at like the guy that first did my first reading, and he passed on a couple years ago. He was the one that like, you need to learn how to basically just blank out your mind.
Yeah.
Most people would think I'd already mastered that, but I really hadn't yet at that point. So I was, he goes, even practice at 5 seconds, like just whether it's just, you just see white in your head or your eyes, your mind, or black or whatever. There's just nothing going on.
It's hard to do that for a long time.
And you would think that it's easy, but it's not.
So you catch that thought sneaking in. Yeah.
But I've got to the point where I could be stressed out and I just have like in my mind, I just see a pitch black screen and I forget about what I was worrying about.
That's so cool. So it's like cleaning the slate.
Yes.
That reminds me of.
So it's nice in that regards. But I think when it comes to, it may be good. Like if I was going to be like, hey, what message could I get? It might be good to clean the slate and then zone out.
Perfect. Yes. You're making your own methods.
Instead of I can't just close my eyes because I can't close my eyes when I do mediumship. I hardly ever close my eyes. Yeah. So, but I have found over the last couple of months, I've gotten very frustrated, because it's like you hear of people that they have obviously been doing it for longer, or maybe they've been doing it for shorter, but it's like, I'm really wanting to do this. I'm really wanting to get
Ryan, you're doing it because this woman came to you to tell you that she looked up the words and she found true and honest to God healing and meaning in that. And then she let you know that. So she thought she took you seriously, and it's not because you said so. It's because of who you are, and she could tell.
Is that a little bit of imposter syndrome?
You did it though. No, you really did it. Eventually, if you keep doing it, but how do you get that experience, right? You can't just walk up to people. Hey, do you have a dead relative that I can speak with for you? Maybe, and try and practice. It's awkward, It's really awkward.
And that's the bad thing is like time wise, it's kind of an awkward situation for me, just like household, marriage wise, where if I spend too much time, because I know a lot of people that do like the Facebook circles, mediumship practice circles, but they spend so much time doing it. And it's like, I love video games and I always have, but I was almost divorced because of video games.
I understand.
So it's one of those things.
I love video games too, but I do not play them.
And so I play
MMORPGs. I stay away.
I play very little. and I do get to play like enough to make me content and somewhat happy, but it's like back years ago, like a decade or so, we literally almost got divorced, and that was a big cause of it. And so I try not to mess with it unless I've got spare time. and everything's going to be okay. So that's kind of like with the practice circle type thing. It's like, I don't want to have something else fill that time. Of course
not. Yeah.
So to me, it's kind of like finding those perfect chances and opportunities to use it somehow or practice.
So I would love your advice. So, I built the school and the psychic school, the Rustic Psychic School app, and I haven't been doing much with it because my life has been in total chaos and I haven't made some decisions I need to make, but they're pretty much made, but I'm not really sure. So I would love to hear from you, like that, what you're talking about. What would you want? What's the structure you would want as learning mediumship that would work for a working person with kids and stuff like that? What would it be? Your ideal situation?
Like for me, I know, like, just like I didn't have too many expectations, like when I went and met with that one on Saturday. But I can tell you from in person, like I liked, how we did it. And that was so much better. But like,
I loved how we did it. We could just write whenever. And and my guides, it was one time, wasn't it like 2 a.m. and I woke up and Sam's like, hey, write and this and this and this.
Yeah. Because I remember waking up for work at like 4:50 and I'm like, oh shit.
I don't know why I just do it, because it's mediumship learning. I'm just letting them tell me how to do it. Letting your guides kind of and your stuff coming to me at certain times. But the thing is natural. But
the thing is like for me, it's like I am so like I want it so bad that it's like be able to ask a question and get an answer relatively.
But you've got to practice. That's what you've got to do.
And I mean, even if I have a question for you or somebody else, like having the ability, the social media, the quick access to be able to say, hey, Lisa, what about this? And you can, maybe it's 10 minutes later, 15, 20.
I love that. Yeah.
Like being able to respond back where it's like, at least I don't have to write a damn letter and send it through the mail. And, it's like,
what do you think about with the app? Maybe, cause I offer mentorship. And I'm thinking about bringing down the price and just offer mentorship and mediumship because that's more what I'd like to do. And what would you think of like what you just gave me an idea, like on a certain day of the week, I would get everybody together and then throughout the week, everybody works that way like we did. It's hard to explain though, really. It's when it hits us, we talk about it. We both have time. And I would, have like maybe like on a Sunday, I'd have an individual meeting with everybody. So, and then I would do it in classes kind of in chunks to make it affordable for people to do instead of like I'm asking 111 at all the teachers when they are ready to put their teaching stuff up there. We're going to do like 111 a week. Would you think it would be more reasonable around like 30 a week? Would you pay that for it? So, or maybe, so we'd have the hour conversation once a week. And I'd like to do that with the whole group, make it 2 hours on Zoom or something. But if nobody wants to do that, then no, and I'd have like, if you want to do that, and then the rest of it's all individual, but I'd like that one day where people are learning and they can practice on each other.
I think, I think that, it's kind of one of those things that I've seen people charge astronomical amounts.
Oh, me too. And people do it. Yeah. I don't know what to, and I would like to keep it affordable.
Now for me, it's like like worst case scenario, like if I got to be proficient with this and like it was no problem whatsoever, anytime I needed to read for somebody, I could. Like then, like I told my wife, it's like if I got to that point and I wanted to quit my job or maybe I get laid off or something like that, then I could utilize it for making money. But in the grand scheme of things, I don't really like, I'm more of the like,
you want to help. And
I want to help. I don't necessarily want to make money. I've always been kind of underground type of person. Even when I used to design t-shirts and make t-shirts, like I really didn't put it out there too much. And so I'm always kind of been a behind the scenes person. And so for my face to even be on video is incredible.
Thank you, Ryan.
My face is
Thank you, Ryan. It's that set up and your face in it. It's all great.
Exactly. So for me, it's like I like the idea of that because like this, I did the one on Saturday. I paid like $75 for an hour and a half. Actually, it was more like 2 hours, that's I think is a very, very fair price.
So would you say, what do you think about the 111 per week, or do you think that's a little high? You think like 75 a week would be better, and then they take on like 5 students at a time or something, or 4 at a time, and then make it like a 2-month course where we do it however it works best, but I want to have an interview with anyone who wants to be mentored to see if we're a good fit. And that's free. Yeah. I do offer that for free.
I would, to me, the way I feel is that on one hand, I'm as being a supervisor at my job, I have to go with the people that work for me and the people that are above me. Yeah. So trying to find a medium between both. And so for me, like being a medium, being a psychic, to me is like being a tattoo artist. Like you got a skill, granted that everybody has, because we're all psychic. See, I got it in there.
You got it. Thank you.
But it's a skill that everybody has, but I mean, the percentage of people that can utilize it is very minimal.
That do utilize it.
So, I mean, I've seen a lot of people's choices and they suck. So obviously
this has been I've done this like with the mediumship, really working on it since I was 24, I think is when I really started working on it. But I didn't know like my guides were guides. I didn't know what they were, but the spirits were coming through, and my cousin Andrew was the main one I would talk to and ask him questions and stuff. And it was really hard to get the answers, and I had no one to validate them.
And yeah, that's, And so for me, it's like if you'd have to find like sleep on it, ask, the ethereal plane or whatever.
Oh, good idea. Good.
What's a fair amount for you? Or
a way to do it, to set it up. There should be optional ways to do it, I think.
Exactly. There could be options.
I will ask for help.
Because at least if you have options, at least somebody goes, you know what? I can at least do this lowest one and get something out of it and learn something. Now, if they want to, maybe they find that it's, you know what? I want to go more. So they go for more. Now, it's not necessarily that you're trying to make a shit ton of money, but it is your time that you can't get back.
I want to do it, but I don't have much, money. I need money. It's not like, I would see the thing, Ryan, when you work in the field, you're still doing half your work for free, and it's fine. Mm-hmm. It all evens out. Because there's still a lot of people I help just whenever they need it. It's just like we worked with the mediumship, and I'm not asking for money for that, but these are regular clients. I'm like on Everclear, when I have regular clients on there, I always tell them they can write me through the portal about whatever. I like to keep that personal in touch. There is a space that they always respected. I've always felt respected, a space between me and clients and or students, people I'm more teaching. But it's everyone I've taught has been a friend. And now I can teach Reiki as well. So I just can't attune somebody unless I'm in person, which is how you get the Reiki flowing into you and stuff like that. So there are a lot of things that we can do. I'm just picking your brain. You just put let's go back to this after the podcast. And listeners, if you guys have any ideas for how to organize this thing, I'm kind of hitting a brick wall with it. I'm trying to figure out what to do. But so Ryan, what do you think? I think this is what I want to ask. Like, what do you think it's like to have the answers come like this, and this? What do you expect it to be like? Or not like this, but get it better and easier and faster and exact. And the feeling of, because I never know, but I just go with it. So a lot of times I don't remember what I said a lot of times.
Now, you mean if that happened for me, if I just everything that came to me?
What is your expectation? Yeah. What is your expectation? What does that look like to you?
To me, I would just like to be like 90 to 95% accurate. I'm not a.
Okay. I mean like practically, what does that look like to you? Like doing it. Act like, look, let's say it's that time and you're already like that. What does it look like? Who you're giving me a reading about, say my cousin Andrew, what would it look like to you? So I'd say to you, my cousin died, and I am a medium and I do talk to him, but there's a secret in the family, and I'm not clear with the guides and the ancestors because I don't know. I just really I can't read for myself like that very well, and there's something going on. And say I said something like that. And then you would feel what does it look like if you were at the point you wish you were at, where you're driving for? How would you respond to that if you were? Like, you have to say an answer, but what would you be doing?
That's a tough one. I'm not stumped very often. I don't.
Try thinking about that. Your expectations shape in mediumship almost everything from my experience. I can't explain mediumship. I'd love to think about it and try to figure it out, but I don't know how it works at all. I've got ideas, but I think about that, what that looks like to you and your expectations, and really go down in your head about what do you expect mediumship to be like and what do you experience it as already, and put the two together and kind of look at them. Your expectation, once you figure out what you're expecting it to look like, probably looks a lot like what you already do.
And that's something that I've said this whole time, is that there's a part of me that I feel like I'm searching for like my cell phone that's in my fucking hand.
Yes, that's what it feels like. That's a really good way to put it.
Because
and the keys in your pocket. Yeah.
because I feel like
that's a really good way to put it.
There's that part that's in the back of my mind that's like, in the front of my mind, I'm going, oh, I wish I could really get this. I wish I could do this. But in the back of my mind, it's, how do you know you're not already doing it? You already get this. You get this message and that message. You get weird things in your head, and it's like, like even when it comes to like higher self type stuff, like for the last couple of years, I've worried about like the heart palpitations that I had. And it really like traumatized me to the point where like, if something felt funny when I went to bed, I'm like, oh, I'm fucking dying. That's it. I'm dead tonight. And so it was very bad. And so I've gotten a lot better at it, because one day I was on a forklift at work, and like I was out loading a semi truck, just bebopping along. And for some reason, I've had this irrational fear of like a propane tank blowing up off the back of the forklift and killing me. Also, that's another one of my fantasies.
Imagination is huge with mediums. Whenever people who are normally doing mediumship, like you are, and I do it, big imaginations.
So then when I ended up like right after that, I kind of started thinking about, my death again, and always worrying about that. And I heard a voice in my head that was like, this is going to be a pretty shitty way to live a long life if you keep thinking this way.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of like, and it made me like, it hit me like, this is a shitty way to live life if I live for another 50 years of just every day worrying about, oh my God, I farted and my back cracked. Am I going to die because of that? Oh, I felt something in my leg. And it's like, you got to stop worrying about shit.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of.
How have you found a way to do that? Because teach me this mastery. What do you do step by step? I'm learning about my anxiety is like really high these days, and I can't get it under control.
Honestly, I just try to do a little bit of meditation, a little bit of praying, just really
pray some more. Yeah.
And just really kind of just tell myself that it is kind of a waste of time to worry. I mean, it
is, but it doesn't make me feel any better. My mind just starts doing it again. And
and maybe it's that practice of learning how to blank out your mind, because if you can't stop it completely from happening, from starting, maybe you can at least stop it shortly after.
That's a really good point. And maybe I could do some kind of physical action, like a mudra of some sort, when I do it. So there's two different ways to trigger that blank mind, blank down my mind, or trigger the blank mind with an action or something, or even I can do that randomly.
Yeah. When I'm driving.
I'm going in my head.
How did I get here? I don't remember the last 10 miles that I drove. But I think for me, I know that maybe some people deal with learning the psychic medium stuff better with all the foo-foo and the woo-woo. I don't.
Yeah, it's different for everybody. I couldn't do the woo-woo foo-foo. Well, I did go on a retreat for a shaman thing in Phoenix. I think I've talked about it before. And a lot of stuff happened that was pointing out there where I was a shaman type. And I didn't think I was at that time. I was just curious about this free retreat. And I was like, they put a big cauldron. There were about maybe 8 or 9 of us there doing all these techniques, and I was getting really vivid imagery and stuff. But when they put the big cauldron with all the sage and stuff like that to create, whatever they put in there, they said whoever the smoke goes to is something. I can't remember exactly what they said, but they're supposed to be working with the spirit and the spirits. And that smoke, man, it just straight to me the whole time. I was shocked. I was like, is it the wind behind me? And, and I moved and it still went to me. And it was like, oh my gosh. And I just didn't know what to do about that, because that was like a magic thing that happened. And that was one of the first magic kind of things that ever happened to me, that the smoke kept coming to me. And that was a physical action thing, and I wrote that shaman, and she was going to teach me, I think, for gifts or whatever, but I didn't pursue it. I got scared.
That's, what, there's a lot of times that I worry that my fear of the unknown or fear of what I may see or whatever, that maybe keeps some of it at bay to where I don't experience it.
That makes a lot of sense.
Where it's like, hey, you're afraid of maybe
experiencing a horrible thing.
Yeah. Which, I've seen horrible things in
but you haven't experienced it that way. And it happened.
Yeah. I mean,
you did when you were a policeman.
Yeah. I've seen horrible things in the physical world, and, even my own mind torture of, years of depression and all that stuff.
I understand.
Thankfully, I don't really deal with it all anymore. So
good.
And so it's one of those things for me is like, I like clear cut answers, as clear as cut as can be on mediumship stuff. It's like, do I need to meditate before? And
it's different for everybody. That's the thing that's really weird about it. It really is.
It's like, no, you don't have to, but if you feel like if you meditate, that your mind's clearer and you feel better about it, and maybe you get more things, then maybe that's your thing.
Maybe it will help you. It's the expectations. It's whatever you think will work. And you're already, for me, I think what that looks like for you on a very vague kind of scale is, you're really feeling confident about the information you're getting. And that's the only difference I see in how you would do your mediumship differently if you were at that point you are aiming for. I don't think you would be getting the information more easily. But the thing, Ryan, that you may be experiencing possibly with your mediumship also, that as you've been exploring it and your imagination is this big, some very interesting, weird ideas and things and stories and stuff that you feel like might be true about like the universe or about the, ancient societies or anything like that. You're like deities, any like that you were not thinking of before. Yeah, like you might start seeing that stuff and like, what is that? And you have to kind of discern, is this my imagination or is this are these visions I'm being told about because I'm progressing with my energy and I want to know it deep down in my soul where I'm from. It'll start telling you your spirit, your higher self, I guess. I don't know who tells you really. A lot of the spirits will, but they won't if you're not really wanting to know. That.
Yeah, if you're closed-minded, it's not gonna happen as much. But I also just heard today that sometimes, like if you put off that energy of like, I really want, like, maybe like insanely want something, you want to do this, that maybe the universe is like, whoa.
It can slap you across the face and put you in the shaman sickness. So be careful.
Which, and for me, like the last couple of months, I
think you've been in the shaman sickness before for a long time.
The last couple of months of trying to get myself in shape physically has helped me mentally.
Yes.
Which I think is helpful for if you're going to be a medium or a psychic and deal with any of that. It's like, if you've got issues with your physical self, then that can lead to having issues with your spiritual self.
Yeah. It's an expression of the spiritual self sometimes. Sometimes it's a physical ailment that you can't lose weight for some people,
Well, it's what is it? The self-limiting beliefs. I mean, like if you are like, oh my God, look at me, I'm disgusting. You know,
being hard on yourself, being all this negative self-talk. Yeah.
How well are you going to do mediumship with somebody if your brain is cluttered with that?
And what's interesting is that's what you'll pick up from them because that's what you expect it to come from them.
You're trying to read them, and in your mind, I know what they're thinking. I know that.
Right, Ryan. It's a self-limiting thinking, but what would your advice for that for someone who might listen to this and go, crap, I'm doing that.
You know, well, I guess some of the experts say that like anytime that you catch yourself saying anything negative, try to say at least one or two things positive about yourself.
Yes.
Or even for me, like it may be like, I feel good. You know, I've gained muscle percentage and I've lost body fat and I've lost weight. You know, I've done really well. And, but there's times where I'm just like, ugh. You know, but as soon as I make that sound or I get that thought, I'm like, hey, but I'm working on it.
Yeah.
You know, and even something as simple
as that's a good thing to say. I am working on it. Same
exactly. Because working on it, no matter what it is better than not doing shit.
Yes. Take that chance. Do the work. I mean, you're not gonna, what do you get to lose? Nothing. You know, by doing it.
I mean, I got pissed because I should have done this shit a long time ago. You know,
maybe it'll make you live longer because you're supposed to be doing it for a certain long time. Well, so this is why. Maybe your 0 zeros in your numerology chart said we're going to put him here, so he'll like have fun when he's older. I always save the best for last. I don't know about you. In my food and stuff like that, you know, my choices.
The
best for last.
The color of the M&M that you save for last.
Yes. The light brown is the one I saved.
Really?
Light brown ones.
I think I saved blue. I think I saved
the blues are cool last. Too. Yeah, I like those too.
Yellows and browns were first, I think.
Oh, yeah. The browns are just something. The dark and the light brown. I like them both. I think they took out the light brown. They might not have them anymore, but that was my favorite for a long time. And on that note, I just want to ask Ryan, is there anywhere you'd like the listeners to know they can reach you? The email address, anything? Do you want them writing you or knowing anything about you? I mean, back in the past, I think I put your old podcast in there, but is there anything you'd like me to include? Well, think about it.
I'll think about it.
And if you have something in mind right now, tell me about it. But if you don't, I'll put it in the description, listeners and watchers, and it can be a mystery click.
I would hate to I don't know. So this is something that drives me most days, that I want to learn. I want to do this. I want to help. And that was another thing that I got from that voice in my head was, you know, I've seen, unfortunately with TikTok, I see so many parents that lost kids or loved ones and this and that. And it just it kills me. I fucking hate it. And then I was like, this is one reason why I would like to help, is to give somebody that closure or that comfort or whatever it is that, you
really feel it, don't you?
Yeah. Oh, I do. And so I told my wife shortly after that girl told me, that thing about her dad, and we both just got chills down our spine, and we're about ready to cry, both of us, because it was just that hit so strong, and that was such a good feeling. And I think so many people need more of that good feeling.
I agree.
Natural good feeling.
And just have that faith that there is something after death. There is a reason we're here and all that. I lost it earlier today. I was like, there's no way. I'm kind of moody right now. But I was like, everything sucks. There's no point. And those moments come and they pass too. They pass,
They do. And that's, and I told
my dad said that to me. It'll pass. They do pass eventually. He said, I don't know how to stop a panic attack, because I was on the phone with him when I was having it. And I said, I don't either. And he's like, but once they're gone, he's like, it does happen. It will pass. And I can hear that still. Yeah.
Any time that I've gone through anything shitty in my life, depression, I got divorced years ago now and dealt with other things with my other kid's mom. And it's just like very bad, very, very, very bad.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, I try to tell people, it's I made it through every time. Every time when I thought I couldn't, I made it.
Yeah.
So even if it's, you want to learn mediumship and it's getting rough, you can get through it.
You can get through it.
Just don't give up on it.
That's right.
So
you can put it aside for a minute.
Exactly. One of the best pieces of advice I ever got when I worked at a prison years ago. And there was this old man that hilarious, very few words, but he was basically like, sometimes you just have to step off the world and watch it go by. And it really hit me to where it's like, we are so up about, I got to go do this. I got to go do that. I got to be up on the news. I've got to, get on Facebook, whatever it is, socials. And sometimes you just have to stop and push that shit away, not care about what anybody else is doing, or just watch it and don't get involved. Just, keep your bubble, your peace, and just be like, I'm not going to stress about this crap. And then I tell you what, it's so helpful to just be like, that's why, I don't understand why people get into crap on Facebook. And it's like,
they get upset.
Somebody's talking shit on somebody's meatloaf they made tonight. And people are also,
oh my gosh.
It's, stuff like that. And it's just like, I'm just on here for the funny pictures. So
a little bit. I bet you like some of the gossip, not that kind of gossip, but the gossip. Like someone got a job, or it's not gossip.
Oh, I mean, I like announcements and news.
That's
like
not
that.
Gossip. They telling you themselves. But
this makes me feel like a stalker from farther away that is really just lazy. And
as much as I've had a crush on Johnny Depp, for as long as I've had a crush on Johnny Depp, I have never Googled him and looked into his personal information, because I think I had a crush on some singer or something in middle school. It was probably it's probably Richie Sambora from Bon Jovi. I think I read about him and it really kind of disappointed me. He wasn't at all like I thought.
Ruins the fantasy.
So I just stay away from finding out about people's personalities if I have a celebrity crush, I think. That's the only one I have. But.
You have the fantasy in your head and then it comes crashing down.
Yeah. That guy sucks. Or, he's gay. Oh, he's married. But it's mainly finding out that really big disagreeing problem with the politics or something like that. We could never make it. And I said so in the end.
That's the main reason why we wouldn't make it. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I want to thank our sponsor, Everclear. Everclear is an advice app where you can get advice from psychics and empaths so you can get the clarity you need to create the life you deserve. I am an advisor on there, Lisa P, Leesa with the letter P. And you can always write me through the portal and I will get online and talk to you. But I'm starting to log in more. I'm enjoying it. I'm going to log in probably after this and mix this in the morning, probably. Anyway, thank you so much, listeners and watchers. And Ryan, I feel like I'm just talking to one of the oldest friends. It's so weird. And so thank you so much for always saying yes to coming on the podcast. And listeners and watchers, we love you. And peace out. Say bye, Ryan.
Bye, Ryan.